Because some of the later like arcs, especially the Chimera Ant arc, Togashi's arc is really up and down at points because of his health complications that he was going through. But the anime is just consistent throughout. So
to anyone who doesn't know, I would recommend, and God would recommend.
Because I know so much about the series, of characters and Ken and all that shit. I know so many. I know so many references, but I've never actually sat down and read or watched it.
oh my god!
Yeah, I think I know enough about Naruto to lie my way through a conversation being like, the Leaf Village. Crazy, man.
I could probably lie my way through a Full Metal Alchemist conversation. I have done many times.
Nina? Oh, man, that's just so sad, bro.
I mean, let's be real. I feel we've all done that, right? Where, everyone around you is talking about an anime. And you're kind of just like, that thing.
For like 5 years, I was an anime fan who hadn't watched Evangelion. People would be like, dude, it's epic. And I'm like, yeah, dude, get in the robot. Yeah, my dad hates me. Dude, love that. Love the part where the mechs fight. Dude. That shit's crazy. just do that.
I admittedly did that a little bit with
it's when you're insecure, right?
Yeah,
you don't
I did that for a while with
fan.
Bleach because I dropped it at the Eisenhower. So anything after that, I had no fucking idea. But people around me kept reading it. And they were like, the whole Weko Mundo stuff? I was like, that thing.
Weko Mundo?
Yeah, that thing. Totally.
To be fair, Bleach is one of those anime or manga that you could feasibly lie your way out of it to make it seem like you've seen it without having seen it. After you watch the first few arcs, then you kind of just can bullshit your way through.
I too also want to see more Bankai.
I feel like this is the same with One Piece, right? Because One Piece is so long. It's like The Simpsons, right? Where everything that could ever happen has probably happened. So you could be like, dude, my favorite episode is where Homer Simpson becomes a crack addict. That's probably an episode of The Simpsons, right?
I mean, you could probably do that with One Piece right now. You're the only one who hasn't seen it. So you could just randomly be like, I love that episode where Luffy and Chopper make out.
I love the part where the pirates find another band of pirates that are bad initially and then turn and are part of some military and then they're like, dude, let's just be good. Let's help Luffy out. Right?
Oh yeah, the Water 7 arc.
Is that like a thing? That's probably a thing, right?
That probably happened.
Probably something.
That was vague enough that...
but if I keep it vague, right?
That could be about 4 different arcs in One Piece.
Yeah, because I know enough base information about One Piece. I still haven't read it yet. Again, I downloaded some episodes.
To a Grump
chapters on my
Inter?
phone. But maybe one day.
So you're downloading a lot of chapters now?
No, I have like 10 volumes downloaded, which isn't much.
How far into
Need to shut down that round.
Well, because we're approaching volume 100 of One Piece.
So we're approaching chapter 1000, I think, aren't we? Which is going to be a landmark. And 1,000 chapters. That's
Imagine? Dude, fucking 1,000 every week. 1,000 chapters.
I cannot.
That's 1,000 weeks at least, minimum.
Because I think so. I think so.
It's kind of
May
interesting
then be the
because
fact check.
Holy
yeah,
shit,
it's kind of
he's
interesting
married.
actually because Oda
I feel like you can't
Go
be
stuff at
married
me.
and make One Piece. Like it's pick one.
Well, it's
right?
so
Mr.
interesting
Kamala.
because I feel not a
He is married, yes.
Okay, so
Wait,
because,
is
not a
Hecarim
whole lot
dead?
about Oda is even
How the
because
fuck
he
did he
so
dead,
rarely
man?
makes any TV appearances or interview
Wow, I
appearances
can't
'cause it's
believe
too
he did.
easy fucking writing a chapter a week.
He's not just doing that, because Oda, out of every author, is way more involved in the anime production as well.
Right, you're right.
Because normally
He helps
with
produce, right?
with normally a lot of anime productions, people are just like, okay, there's the author, and then the author just gets sidelined, and they just continue doing their stuff, and maybe they'll watch the anime. But Oda's been involved in a lot of the anime production. Which where does he find the time to do this? I don't know. As a
man is like a time man.
As a shonen jump author, I don't know how you
can.
can have a life like most
They have
authors
to die
don't have a
back in
life
dead.
outside of their magazine. I mean, most of them have health complications because of how much they work.
Not to mention that, I swear, with every new chapter, Oda's art is just evolving. It's getting more. Some of the recent chapters are so fucking detailed. Where it's how do you draw this in a week?
Yeah, exactly. People like to piss on One Piece character designs because it looks cartoonish, it looks
They do
childish.
look fucking weird.
They do look weird.
Yeah, but at least it's so distinct. Where you can look at a character and be like, oh yeah, that's a One Piece character.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. But you say about Simpsons, but you don't have
Well,
or
yeah.
a Family Guy character.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe.
But I would argue that that's better than a fucking generic casting character that can fit into any
I mean,
show of that
it's
caliber,
way,
right?
or any one of Oda's character designs is way more memorable than here's generic
Ooh,
isekai
you
protagonist
dead.
number
That's
true.
75 that
Yeah.
looks
Yeah.
like
For Oriana,
Kirito,
yeah.
just reskinned.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
homie.
Yeah.
Like that's my I think that's my biggest problem with a lot of light novel adaptations is that you can tell light novel adaptations
Hey,
nowadays
yo,
by just
I
the
can't help
character
your
how they
designs
look.
and just the art styles,
In
right?
Imhabo-
Yeah, because the
in
character
Imhabo
designs
or-
haven't
or-
changed from like 10 years ago.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's
Yeah,
like
forget it, that
good-looking
Vale
boy
freaking
with
Kino
average
player
proportions
before,
with
so
spiky
he
hair,
uses
color it
dash
in,
and
Exactly.
push up further from.
Like even a lot of like the girls as well, because I think one one
He's
of
a pink-haired
yeah,
character.
like one of my favorites
Towards
one of my
me,
favorite female
yeah.
characters to come out in recent times is Mai
do it all,
Sakurajima
yeah.
from Bunny Girl Senpai.
Yeah.
And like I really
Yeah,
like
nice, good
all
job.
of the cast
Yeah.
there, all of the characters, but
LTP and
my
Vale.
god, they have such forgettable character design. You know what I mean? Compared to some of the character designs from say like Monogatari or something like that,
Yeah.
which it gets compared a lot to, and I see the same charm, but in terms of the memorability of the character
See,
designs,
back
it's
here,
just
I have
Bunny
this
Girl
side.
Senpai just looks like the most generic.
Well, I mean,
Well,
that's why they had to.
that was only one of the reasons I just didn't watch it.
Well, that's
Yeah.
that's why they had to put her in a bunny costume, right? To like
Exactly.
differentiate between all the other characters.
Exactly.
Yo,
Yeah.
motherfucker.
Because there's a lot of anime characters just like silhouette or eyes, right? You can just.
Right. And like, I would argue again, like that's I think one of the strong suits about One Piece right, is that like because the characters look so fucking wacky,
Yeah.
you can immediately tell that's a One Piece character.
Yeah, and it's the way I describe Oda is it's like you're reading a story from someone who has the imagination of a 10-year-old, but the writing skills of like Martin. You know what I mean? It's so weird because you see a character like this cross-dressing battle,
Marigan.
and you're like, what is this wacky character? Yeah. Mr. Two. So yeah, Mr. Two. Yeah, Mr. Two. Yeah,
I always get the number.
Mr. Two Bon Clay-san.
Mr. Green Eggs and Ham, I love him. too. He's great. I love that guy.
But yeah, you see his character design for the first time, and you're just like, this, I'm never going to give a shit about this character. And then he ends up in later arcs bringing you to tears sometimes. And you're just like, how did this happen? How did Oda make me care about this person right now that you can see on screen? Anyone who hasn't watched One Piece is probably looking at this being like, what the
Who is
fuck?
this clown?
Who is this literal clown? You know what I mean?
That's your weekly jack off to One Piece segment of the podcast.
Yeah, as we're going to do every week now.
Well, we're gonna do it every week until you
start reading it. And
If I read it, it's become a fucking One Piece podcast.
it won't. But it might become more of a manga podcast. Yeah, it might be.
I'll spend like 20 hours reading a manga. My review will be like,
So wait, so what would you give out of 10
really? I don't want to read anyone else's reviews of manga at all. I don't want to know because I feel like right now because
I'm gonna head out.
I don't touch any of the reviews of manga. I don't know what the popular opinion is. I don't know if I care if anything is good or bad. I just see something and I'm like, I'll read that and make it my own choice. Kind of like it that I'm in my own bubble of like, I don't give a shit what anyone else thinks.
It's weird, right? Because I feel like manga readers just exist in their own bubbles, right? Because when we talk about the anime community, most people refer to it as like the anime and manga community. We kind of assume that we're just synonymous with each other, right? But then there are times when I just kind of realize that I have no idea what's going on in the manga world sometimes. Like there's this airing anime right now called Horimiya. That's
Is that?
So good.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. Maylin's just like fangirling.
The manga is
Favorite manga according to
manga's
Maylin.
fucking awesome.
Like when the anime is getting adapted, there was like so many manga reviews that was
They come out.
they just come out and say, "Oh my god, this is my favorite manga. I fucking love this."
Get
manga."
up to
And here I am thinking,
Hello,
what
this
is this
freaking-
rock that
yo.
you're all living under? What is this rock?
No. It's like, listen,
Never mind. Don't bother dude.
So that's like me. Don't
bother.
about it. But when the anime's announced, I'm like, yo, that's my fucking favorite. I love that one. I read that ages ago. I love that.
No, because the thing is, I had never heard of Horimiya before the anime got adapted
how they kill all the
this
small
winter
ones
season,
and all.
right? And I'm just like, it must be a pretty it must have like a cult following or something. So search it up, and
it has a cult following,
and
alright.
it is the 13th most popular manga of all time on my anime list. And I'm just like, how have I never heard this name before? Or how has no one discussed this in my presence before?
Right.
I thought,
Reading that.
Well, that's the thing. That's what I find so interesting about the manga world is that even if it's like universally praised and credited as being this most amazing piece of work, right, in the manga world, it's just really surprising how few people in the anime community actually know about it. Like, I guarantee you, not many people know about like Oyasumi Kunpun. Even though I think it's like the second or third highest rated manga on now.
I feel like I don't know, some like seinen manga. You have like the seinen big four. I think you have like Vinland Saga.
Always the fucking big numbers.
It is because it's
Well, it's not quite the medium four, is it?
Why always the
The
big
small
one?
four.
What happened to the top? You know, that describes things pretty well. Never mind.
We
carry on.
should rename it. Not
Holy
like the
shit.
Giga Four or
the
something.
Giga Four.
the Giga Four.
It might be. I can't remember because it's.
Well, which ones are you referring to?
You know like the crowd that always talk about
Dari
Vinland
Kobat,
Saga.
you know.
It's either Vinland Saga, Berserk, or
Dua dari Kobat.
fucking
Yo,
Vagabond.
Oh, Vagabond. Yeah.
And I
Or
think
the
there's
four
one
far
more
behind
that is
it?
in that
Okay.
genre that everyone.
yeah, literally, you know those two. It happened to me that 3 man
No,
died,
it's not
me,
Golden
Malphite,
Kamuy, but
Ultim.
maybe it's just a
freaking
big three. Maybe I'm just
Ikaw,
imagining. things.
Mundo,
But there's-
Ghost Ata, me,
I
and
feel like
Oriana
a lot of
Ultim,
seinen manga
so
is talked about as
she was
like these
freaking Mundo.
masterpieces, you know what I mean? But some like
Yeah, that's
slice
good.
of life romance
Let's
manga
not
like
sex.
Horimiya that is apparently very popular, just don't get talked about in the same sphere. And
Well, I would argue that like even
I want to squeeze on this fucking girl pussy.
it upsets how people feel about it.
really, I feel like a lot of people. Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
I know it is a title that exists. I know absolutely nothing about it.
So Vagabond essentially is a samurai, but it's done by
Yeah.
So you know we're somehow not only managed to make one of the greatest sports manga ever made, but also one of the greatest samurai manga ever
Yeah,
made. And
one
it's
of the-
fucking amazing.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many chapters?
It's still going.
Still ongoing, but
It's on hiatus.
But it's I don't know what it is about this, you know, the brutal seinen manga where they get up to
I don't know, it
like
might get
200 or 300 chapters and the author's just like, I'm gonna head out.
I
now."
will take a break.
I think like at least the manga I've read, it feels like they build up like a really cool world, and again they just like it either gets too big
Yeah.
and they're just like, oh, I'm gonna rein this in,
Yeah.
or like it just gets way too big and it ends with like so many fucking things not.
Yeah,
explored.
Gal
'cause-
TP,
'cause,
I
like,
think.
going back to Hunter x Hunter, like it got up to a point when I'm just like, this is
I couldn't move
this
on
is
there. I
a
had to
comfortable
Dracula.
place to end it. You know what I mean? This is a comfortable
Dominic
place to
Purple.
like
Could have
try.
ended it
Yeah,
well.
no, it definitely could have ended it.
Right.
And then he introduces the dark
Really, I'm getting
content, which
fucked
without
by other
spoiling
lanes right now.
the exact
I'll
time
stop the
details
gal
of it.
cry TP,
So
man.
you
No,
have-
no,
you have-
no, I said that your fault. That's
You
just
have
like,
this, you
I
have
lost
this
the MC
world
last minute
that
when she
Togashi built up in
mentioned
Hunter x
I'll lose
Hunter,
it on her.
and it was like
That's
how-
the
how
life
long was,
of
like,
bot
the
lane,
run?
bro.
Whatever.
It's
Yeah,
148 episodes.
yeah, 148 episodes, right? And it ended to a point where he explored everything you needed to explore about the world, right? And he went on hiatus, and everyone was just like, oh, you know, Hunter x Hunter must be coming to an end. And then he comes back, and he's just like, JK, by the way, this is just 1/5 of the world.
That's I hate it when they do that, man. Like
he got out too.
don't come here and pull that out of your ass. It's like a fucking like parody iPhone presentation. It's like, but wait, there's more. And it's like, wait, but no, stop. There shouldn't be more. As cool as the idea is of like expanding the world, it's honestly one of the things that makes me roll my eyes the most when I'm reading manga lately is when they're like, but there's another continent or planet. And I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake. There is not going to be another planet that is going to be satisfying.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
yo,
exactly
you did
how I
today.
felt when, like, you know,
Jesus, I couldn't
Dragon
move.
Ball when
Yeah.
they started expanding on like multiverse.
Yeah,
and
they're like,
shit. I
multiverse.
was like, bruh, I thought like blowing up planets and like taking over the universe was hard enough, and now it's like, well, you know, there's like 7 more universes out
Yeah,
there.
no,
like,
I even got
nothing
up here,
gets
man.
my chub like softer.
I'm a plan to
than
flush it.
multiverse or like expanding
Well,
the
never do it in
universe
time.
out of.
I think the one thing I hate the most is how like I don't mind them like introducing it if they actually follow
Yeah,
through.
but the problem is they'll just drop it in like a chapter. They'll be like, oh, by the way, there's other worlds, and then it's like, no, there wasn't. There was never other worlds. You never made this
Wait,
manga with
she
other
get
worlds
where
in
she's
mind. You
still
lied.
dead?
You're
What
adding
the
this
fuck?
now.
Like, he's chilling.
Like,
that is-
because Because like, okay,
I see the
sorry,
Hecarim
bring it up
get
again,
that alpha,
fucking
and she
night
get
time.
where?
Like,
How she
what else
through
did
the...
you play with? They just casually
she
mentioned
got
that
that.
there's two worlds having a war, and then it's
I
like,
respawn and got back to my
and then
screen.
it just ends, and we never know anything about the other world that's apparently having a war. And it's like, whoa. So everyone gets to go alone happy, but the whole reason why this world exists is because there's a war, and this is fantastic. It's bullshit. Like, I don't like it when they do this, especially when
fight
the
that heads up?
manga
You know
is
how-
like, you know, it's been going on for a long time,
Right.
and it already feels like it's stretched
I'll-
thin.
I'll hold mid.
It's like, no.
Set-
And like you
set
said, they
mid
build it
though.
up, fine. But
Yeah.
when they just drop it, I hate it.
Yeah, yeah.
No, you sometimes see these plot points in manga that is just like dropped, and for some reason you just never
Go
hear
back.
about it again. Like
Go back.
aside from other worlds, the biggest example I can think of is the Gans manga,
Fucking bits.
where
I love that one, but I was
Yeah,
so
take a world
dumb.
back.
yeah, where I just like
This-
remember when there were
there was a
vampires
huge
in it,
wave.
and that was a big plot point.
Can
Oh,
you
yeah, there's
and then
like
they
the
just
vampire gang.
disappeared.
Yeah.
I just
Weird.
were just never heard about again.
There's a lot of stuff in Gantz. So if you haven't read Gantz, I
worth
guess
it.
you could. It's
Can't even
very
beat
long.
that
It's
moon
really, the
though.
artway is fucking amazing. We spoke about it before, but yeah,
you don't like
randomly
it once
halfway
you
through
want
they
jump,
introduce
though.
vampires into a world that
Yeah.
never had vampires, and then they just never come up again.
Not gonna lie, like I barely remember any of it because I
Man
think at
kan
that
beat
point I
Mundo
kinda
and Mundo the eat of his
my mind. I was
fucking.
like, this is so dumb. I don't even want to like pertain it to memory.
I just kind of I always offhand remember it. You know, sometimes you just get flashbacks.
You wake up at night
You just-
sweating.
yeah, you wake up,
there was vampires.
You wake up and you're just like,
Built on
whatever
the
happened to those vampires? Where did they disappear?
Yeah, squish it,
They were
but
built
once
up
it
as like the
was
big fucking villains or
Yeah,
something,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
they just went nowhere with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's the problem is when you're
I want
like
to lose that fight.
serializing a manga every week. I wonder how much of it like is actually planned for the story and how much of it just feels like it's falling apart. while they're
Exactly,
making
which is why like the more manga I read, the more I respect it. Something like One Piece that can keep coherency this long. You know what I mean?
And it just continually getting more
and just
more
continually
epic, right?
and just continually getting better and better. But I mean, like that's also why I really value when a manga just has a good ending. Not even a manga, but just any media in anime, manga, or light novels that just has an ending that people are satisfied with.
I don't ask for much, but I do ask for a satisfactory ending to the story.
I'm just the more I've been reading manga, my
Again,
pet
but-
peeve is when it just starts to fall apart in the last 40, 50 chapters. That's been happening a lot.
Nothing ruins, I feel, like an experience of going
Like
through
on it,
this
we try to
entire
put up
long
fight, but
journey.
that freaking all the rest of it one, and then that freaking fight does it
To, like,
There are like I swear to God, I can count the amount
it
of
falls.
like satisfying endings on like my hands in that I've read in manga.
Right.
Because there's like most of
shit.
the manga that I love are still ongoing. Like
Yeah.
classics like Berserk, Vagabond, Vinland Saga, for example. And then there are other
I
things like
guess
Slam
it's
Dunk
like-
where you just feel, you know, it just kind of just ended. You know what I mean? It had its, you know,
But come on, you can't say that final chapter of Slam Dunk.
Don't spoil it for me. I want to read it.
Okay, well, essentially, like, I'm not going to tell you how the story goes because there's
Yeah.
a lot to unpack. But basically, like, Slam Dunk, I really like the final chapter of Slam Dunk because it was kind of like experimental almost because almost
Another dimension.
no.
Where the basketballs slam dunk you.
No, because what really made that like final chapter famous was the fact that almost the entirety of the final chapter has no dialogue.
yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I
And
like
it's
that.
just like, basically he was just like, let me just show you the story rather than
Yeah, I don't have the problem with the final chapter. I just felt like if-
with
if-
like the wrap up. Right?
Yeah,
I
I
can't
felt
get
like
it fucking eat.
they could have gone further
Yeah.
with the entire story, and I feel like he just kind of ran out of ideas and just kind of just ended it. You
Yeah,
know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
But it's not it that it wasn't a great final
Hey,
chapter. It
man,
was just that I
balik-
wanted to
balik
see
awal.
a lot of these
Re-
characters
No, I get
that
it.
there could have been.
Okay, but it
That was
worked, you know,
Minishi
beat.
Karuna Go. Dude, if we're talking about absolute cuckold endings, like Hikaru no Go. So
Hikaru no Go is a show.
Actually,
No,
that's
not a
some kind
Go.
of pretty close
manga.
to-
It's
you know what Go is?
Yeah,
Remember
Go?
Go?
Yeah, yeah. Of course,
Black
of
and
course.
white
Is this
is
one where the ghost features him?
yeah,
Yeah,
there's the
yeah,
one
yeah.
where the ghost features him.
And well.
It
Just ends.
Oh, okay.
Just
okay.
ends.
I-
You know
say
what I
no
mean?
more, say
it
no
ends
more.
in like a really controversial way.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, people were
I
kind of
did
just
just
like,
rush
wow, there
for
must have been
bombs.
some like strings behind the scenes that were kind of just like, you're gonna end this because it's very, very unsatisfactory. Yeah, nobody was happy.
Are there
with
any good endings that you can think of off the top of your heads? aside from Oyasumi Punpun, 'cause I know you're gonna. I know you're about to mention Oyasumi Punpun.
That's the first thing I think of. When I think of the most like genius ending, it's Oyasumi Punpun.
I haven't read like any manga that's Jerry, but it just doesn't completely fuck itself.
Yeah.
I honestly, and I,
Yeah.
is that how it is to be a
But,
manga
like,
fan?
no,
like where you're
no,
just
no.
like, as long as it doesn't
Eh,
completely
that's
fuck
how I
everything
think
else.
about it.
Even if it's like,
Oh
it's
my
like
god,
average,
I not
I'm
get
still satisfied.
Yeah, yeah,
That's like-
exactly.
because like I just recently finished reading
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
the last one.
Oh, you won.
Not the strongest ending in my opinion, but it wasn't a complete shit show.
I
So I was
believe
like, you know
I
what?
guess. Oh,
I'm
you got
satisfied.
natural.
Like, could have been
And
better,
yeah.
but it could have been a lot worse as well. So.
Is the ending
She
of
actually walked
manga
back to
that important?
well,
QV source music.
a lot of walkers, fuckers in this
I
game.
feel like if an ending of a manga,
On Game of the Walking Dead with the two, you know?
that can bring it up from like a decent
I agree.
Because
Yeah, go on.
I mean, the biggest example I can think of is the clusterfuck that was Code Geass season 2,
you mentioned
and
this
yet,
last week,
and yet somehow I will never forget it because of how great the ending was. Same with something like Cowboy Bebop
Fuck,
for
another
example,
fight?
as well.
I think the ending matters.
If
Bit
it's
of
freaking
an
set
old-
right here.
I think it matters.
I hope it's set that it's a fucking rush needle.
The way the I remember
On good. Ooh. Oh. Damn, no mouse fight.
episodes
Oh,
and, like,
no mouse
scenes.
fight.
Right.
and also, yeah, so I just find that when I
Don't
finish a
say.
manga, I rarely ever think about the ending of any of them. I just think about my favorite moments throughout
Really?
the manga.
I'm the complete
She
opposite.
got
I think about
slap.
the ending.
I think with manga,
Whoa, that
I think
Serafino.
more
Whoa,
about, like,
whoa.
certain scenes, whereas with
Whoa
anime,
there,
I think about
Booker.
it as a whole.
Carnage.
Yeah.
And I think
Carnage.
maybe it's because I binge anime, so
Can you
I
even
kind of
afford
experience the anime.
the item?
all
Yeah, I
at
can,
once.
nice.
Whereas
Yeah,
with
yeah.
manga,
I'm gonna be
a
strong
lot
off
of it
this
because
box.
it's rather long. It's like a couple of episodes, a couple of months.
I binge both, so I guess ending is always important to me. Like it doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be like an amazing ending, but what I want is a satisfying ending. But if there's an ending that is actually amazing and sticks with me, then I'll always remember that manga.
It's true. Because I read all of Vinland Saga, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Up to the point where it was out like a few months ago.
Yeah.
And if I never read it again, I'd probably be happy knowing that I had a good story up to where I got to, which sounds weird because it like literally was in the middle of like a fight. And I was
Yeah.
like, you know what? I've read
I'm satisfied.
I've read so much of this that I'm actually satisfied. Like,
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
If I just stop reading this manga, I'll be okay.
Yeah.
Like I'm fine.
But I guess that's where the double-edged sword is, right? Is that the longer the manga goes for,
And
the
they get
more
up.
greater of an ending you expect.
I guess so.
Or
But
sometimes you just because sometimes you've read a manga for so long that you kind of just want it to end. You
Yeah, 100%, I
kind of just because that was me with Naruto.
so
where
so many.
that was
I mean,
me with
that's
Naruto.
understandable.
That was me with Bleach.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where they got to a point when I was just like, I am reading this purely because
that
I've
be
invested
ended.
so much time in it.
Yes, yes,
It's the league problem,
Yeah,
right?
got that.
You're just like, I've invested so much
Get it
time in
right.
this that I just need to play it out.
What would you say is the cap?
Again, really underestimate my age and the swap of my Cheetah and that shit no cheaper. Tell me make play mouse like this, man. Tell me.
And a lot of
I like how you
a
requests are.
gigantic threat earlier on.
Understand.
Yeah.
Even though they haven't changed much in power,
do
will
tend to-
suddenly be like they dispatch it in like one
Right.
hit. Like, there's
Make
so
me
many
write
stuff like
tech
that. Where it's
notes,
like,
no?
so there's really cool
If we
fucking
rush
enemies.
this balloon for me in 15 seconds, I agree with
What's the point? Like, you're just completely ruining all the stakes over and over again. Also, for some reason, man, some fucking action scenes are like nigh on impossible to figure out what the fuck is going on. Like, I'm looking at shit right now. I would need to like get my fucking pen and draw along, like trying to figure out what the actual choreography is.
Like bird's eye view, kind of like
I need,
layout
I
of
need
what's
like
happening.